there. Welcome to City Skylines. We are playing Jackson Hole, Wyoming. I'm your humble host, Christopher Tarantola. And we are going to, let's do a quick overview real quick. It's been a couple days since I last played, so I don't exactly remember the last thing. I know that the last couple episodes have not necessarily been the best. The last episode, I played a lot with the traffic here, and so I think I've actually got it working rather well. To give you highlights, if you just couldn't stand sitting there watching me stare at traffic for long periods of time and figuring out what to do about it. Essentially what I've done, I've upgraded a lot of these roads, so this is now a 4-lane one way going this way and that way. You also notice that I have bridges going over certain areas here, and there's another one. Oh yeah, it's over here. And so this road bypasses these two streets, and this road bypasses that street, because a lot of people were trying to turn there, and it was just causing a lot of traffic. And so I've also added little streets like this one here. I added a pedestrian bypass right there. We have a pedestrian overpass there. Things like this, so that traffic could get to flowing better. And I think we got the traffic to go. Yeah, we're at 85%, which was really great. That's about as good as you can hope to get. I'm sure that will go down later. I also, since the last episode, I took some time on the Steam workshop and downloaded a bunch of assets, both Rico buildings as well as some different roads. I'm actually trying a new road out here. So this is just it's the same. It's basically the same road as you've seen, right? I think I have it probably laid out somewhere. Oh, kind of falling down on the job, guys. Sorry. Yeah, I think I've actually replaced it all. But it's basically, I've had the single road or single lane each way with the median, but this one is slightly different because it does add parking, and I like that. The bad thing about that is this is actually the old one, because the new one doesn't go. You can't build a bridge with it, so that's one downfall. But alas, that's just the way that's going to be. In any case, what I'm going to focus on now, I think I want to get to a point where I have a couple different towns that, this is the city, but I want to have a couple outlying towns. So I'm thinking I want to put a town maybe like here in the bend of the river, and I'm also thinking I want it to do this area here, which is really going to be an extension of that town. But I also wanted to go ahead and get this oil up and running, and I was thinking I might also connect this road here all the way through, so that that's just planned out and done. And we might also connect this road up eventually to the oil. But when you have when you're trying to build as realistic as possible, cities don't develop in isolation. There are going to be a bunch of other little small towns, and eventually they might merge and be annexed and by the main city, things like that. So that's something to think about when you're designing your game or designing your cities, to get it to be a little bit more natural looking. And you kind of want to disregard I have a regular grid right here, but I'm not going to pay attention to that grid whatsoever when designing a city like over here, or even over here, even though the grid actually will continue on there. So this is going to be like a continuation of that grid, but this is completely independent of that grid, and the same thing that's going to be with anything that's over here. Just simply because it's A, so far removed, and B, at some point, if and when the grids do merge, there's going to be some interesting things. And I've seen people complain on like Reddit about having a grid. They get stuck in this pattern where they just have a big gridded city, and it doesn't feel very interesting to them because it's just a grid, and you plop the things down. You know how to do it, and things work, and great, and you're making money. But so what? It's boring. Well, part of the interest of this game for me, I mean, I've been playing this game for a really long time, and I've hit those slumps before. But what I've started doing is, again, part of it is, and this is, by the way, I'm totally stealing some ideas from Sam Burr here, but you follow the curvature of the terrain, the river, the edge of trees, what have you, and that puts a little interest. And then even here, I tried to stick in something that was purposely not on a grid. It was made to be a suburban neighborhood that was developed, and this has really completely destroyed that grid. I mean, when you come this way, that grid is completely destroyed because even though I could have just continued this grid on, I would have had to destroy something that I had already designed here to do it. And so I have to literally go around that. And, most people, they probably would have put a road straight through. But because that was already built out like that, I didn't want to destroy what I already had. This was actually designed to be my main road right here. And it came out this way, if you remember, and it came around and said, you know what, we're going to make that a minor road, and we're going to put the real main road around it as a bypass. And that one became more of a minor road. It's still a main road for the neighborhood, but it's a minor road overall. And so that's kind of how we're going to do this. So the first step, I think, is going to be to get the oil industry up and running. I think that's going to be the smartest thing. It's going to give us the most money. Not that I'm really worried about money at this point, but I'm going to go ahead and start by painting our industrial area. And we'll just follow the edges of the oil field here. And it's literally going to be like that. Now, what did I do wrong? Control. I don't want a separate oil area or separate industrial. I just want the one. There we go. And so we'll fill in this and start our oil area. It's a big area, guys. Sorry. I feel like I'm coloring back in 3rd grade again. It's actually kind of fun. Okay. All right. Got outside the lines there a little bit. That's okay. All right. I can always extend that later if I wanted to as well. Okay, so now we're going to go to our industrial area. We're going to go to oil. And actually, first of all, we're going to build some roads. So again, as always, we're just going to throw a road straight in the middle of our freeway. Nothing special. Probably make it a medium-sized industrial road. You see, I got some new roads here that I'll want to try out. Particularly when we get to doing trams and stuff like that. But let's see. Where's my industrial road? Oh, here it is. Medium industry road. Okay. And so we're going to just click it on in. Click it out that way. And I'm just going to make it come straight out. And typically the way this would be done is, in real life, and I grew up in the Houston area, so I know a thing or two about how refining works, right? It's the biggest refinery in the country. Or not the biggest refinery, but it has the most refining in the country. My mother actually, she lived in Pasadena for a while, and driving through Pasadena, it's just nothing but oil refineries. So the thing that you're going to do is you might have an area that is actually kind of close to town and close to where all the manufacturing is, and that's where you're going to put like your refineries and stuff. Oh, well, hold on. I'm getting a call. Get my train of thought back here. So you might have the oil refineries closer to where you're going to have, ultimately I got to plan out, okay, where is my primary industry going to be? And I'm I'm thinking it's going to be basically on this side of the river, next to this railroad and everything like that. We already got some industry going here, but basically, um, we could also have it kind of along here. Got some ore here, but the ore is going to run out. This would be a good place to have industry as well. And so, when I'm thinking about putting my oil here, you're going to have your factories and all that kind of stuff, because eventually what you're going to do is, with the way Industries works, this is a bit of a tutorial on how Industries work. I don't know. I'll let it go. So you have your unique factories as well as warehouses. So you have your each individual area, but then once you get to factories, you're going to basically need to have multiple different streams of resources coming in order to be able to manufacture whatever the final product is. That little diamond shape there is the final product, and those sell for a lot more. You've created value by putting these raw products and secondary products together into a final produced product that people are willing to pay good money for. And so you're going to make a lot more money in your industry pipeline, essentially. And so thinking about these things, the only way to get there is A, to have a little bit of each industry, and then B, you're going to need to have a really good road network in order to move the goods around. So this is pretty far removed from the rest of our industry, right? And even this is kind of far removed from everything else. And so I need to really think about, okay, do I want to refine over here and then move it, or do I want to have it over here? I guess in the end, it really doesn't matter. You're going to be moving that goods, but I'm just trying to think what would be realistic. And realistically, they're going to have most of the refineries closer to town where all the jobs are. Now, that being said, you might have a little town over here, and so maybe we move the refining to over here. So this will be our little Pasadena here. And that makes a lot of sense. Like, we have the refining here, and we have like a little town that's based on, that is based on all the people that work here. Instead of commuting all the way from town, they have a little community here that is eventually going to grow into the town. Like, the whole town's going to grow out to it. I kind of like that idea. So that being said, going back to oil. Let's look at what we have. So we got the barracks. That's going to basically increase the efficiency. We got the maintenance building, again, increasing efficiency. You got your small and your large oil pumps. You got your oil drilling rig. You got the large oil drilling rig, rather. And see, let's see here. They're all producing oil. That's 8,000. Like 64. That's 96,000 or 9,600 rather units. And then you got your offshore, which obviously we're not going to do. And then now you get your refining plant. So this is a refinery. This is a refinery. That's a refinery. And moving forward, that is just storage, right? And that's some more storage or more storage. Okay. So, to kind of replicate how oil is done, I'm going to delete a lot of this. Let me go back, and I'm going to, as I'm thinking this through, I'm going to make my thing even larger here. And I'm going to kind of create like a line here that is where my refining will be. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm taking it across the freeway here. And the reason I'm going to do that is to try and create some, like, this will be my line here. I'll follow the topography a little bit, but I'll have a line right here of refining, and that'll be actually where you primarily connect to the freeway here. I want to give it a little bit of space, so I'll stick it out that way. And then this will be like a, you know, where they're getting the oil from. But really what you would do in real life is you're going to have like these little dirt roads, and they're going to basically come out, and they're going to branch out to where the oil is. And they're not necessarily straight. They're not. It's almost like making a tree. So I'm kind of making a. This is all like one big oil field, and they're just trying to get out to the different spots where they found through their exploration processes that these are the different locations where you're going to want to put oil rigs, because you got to go where the oil is, not where you want to go, right? And so now that when we put down our drilling rigs, and we might as well put down the biggest baddest boys here. I wish it didn't have that. Yeah, that looks so much better. Okay. Building area must be placed along roadside. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Area has no main building. Okay, I need to put the main building first. Okay, oil industry main building. Sorry guys. All right, so we'll put that right over here. Yeah, right there. All right, so now it's got a main building, and now we'll have some rigs here. Put a rig there. Put a rig there. Put a rig here. Basically, at the end of these branches, the whole purpose of building these roads was to get to where they wanted to put the oil rigs. Right. And we'll need to give... Oh, look, I got some signs here. Okay. Those must have come with some assets that I downloaded. Rico building assets. So, I'm going to go ahead and just have this come out like this. And we'll go across that way. Right straight to it. Straight to it. There we go. And we'll do the same thing with our water. You know, highly inefficient, right? But this is a lot more realistic, so it's going to look better, I think, in the end. You know, they have this nice spread out oil field. I got all that power going, but where is it going to be connected to? So, at some point, we need to have it connect to the big boys. There we go. Alright, so now we connect it. Okay, now let us put a nice big large storage building right here. Right there. And then let us think about our roads. Okay, so obviously we're going to connect here. So we could put an industrial road here. think we'll upgrade this to an industrial road. Oop. And honestly, we'll do it like that. And then have the dirt road connect up. There we go. Okay. And so we'll go back to our industry here. And we'll also put another big storage area right here. Right, and that'll be where now we do our... Okay, so that is the petrochemical. That puts 8,000 units out versus the 4,000. And that's the biggest one. So we'll put a couple of these going. 1, 2, 3. And then that's the 8,000 unit there. Oh, it's nice and small. 1, 2, 3. And then we'll want to put like a little loop in just for good measure. And we're saving, so bear with us a second. And we're saved. Okay. So I'll put a little loop in right here, just for good measure. We'll put a little loop in right here, just for good measure. And then we can also do another one of these types of zones right here. And we can make that industry-wise oil. And then we can zone, let's do it this way, zone it as industrial here, so that, you know, it kind of has a little bit of going on besides what I've just put it down there. We need to connect it all up with power. And water. Okay. I think actually I can go ahead and delete that. I don't think I need that. And for some reason there's still not enough power for this. Why is that? Does my grid separate somehow? So that grid is good all the way here. Where's all the power coming from here? How is the power getting to these things in the first place? How are they powered? I guess they were just powered by these little garbage plants here, so we need to connect that up. Don't need my angle snap here, so we'll connect it to that grid there. And that ought to provide enough power for all of this going on here. Yeah, okay. Now we're good. Okay. So, we're also going to want to put in the barracks and what have you for efficiency's sake. So, some of it will be, again, I just want to see the regular road. Like, having that other stuff is kind of distracting. So I'll have a couple here, and then I'll have a couple here. we could do the maintenance building like right along here. And let's maybe put some additional storage here. There we go. And that ought to work pretty good. And let's see, how is this doing? The Holly drilling area. It's not making profit yet. Wonder if I need to just make a heck of a lot more oil, which may be the case. I don't know. I need to get that water extended a little bit. It looks like everything has enough oil. So where am I going wrong with my profit here? My petroleum's not making any money for some reason. Let's just give it a second to kind of ruminate. It might just be that I need to bring more people into the city. So I'm just gonna work on my residential and commercial for now. So we're gonna create a connection here, and it's gonna be just a medium road, but yeah, I'm just gonna do this medium road here. It's gonna continue basically my little freeway here. Oh, let's turn my angle back on. There we go. There we go. And there we go. And so now I'm going to have a lot of industry traffic here. Also, another thing I need to think about is I want to turn off things like that light, and that light, and that light. I'm sure there are lights over here as well that I need to think about turning off. There we go. They're just not necessary. Okay. So, got a little bit of stuff going on here now, and got some stuff going on there too. That road is connected. Let's manage our speed here on this freeway. So, it's 50 here, 90 there. See the difference? So, let's bring it up to 90. And 90. There we go. Okay. So that's now done. I don't need that on. I don't need that on. And so where are we going to put this little city? Are we going to basically put it in this elbow here? One on this side, one on this side, I think. Kind of. Maybe we want to build it up into the mountains a little bit here. I kind of like that idea. I mean, if I'm going to have a little town, I would build up on the hill if I'm going to be living someplace random. So, well, what we'll do is we'll do our little with parking here. Hopefully this will work. I don't know if it will, because I wasn't able to do bridging earlier with this same road. So, but we'll kind of try and make our way up, go up this valley here. Yeah, okay. So let's give it a bit of a grid now here. Now we'll do this with the suburban streets here. And what I'm thinking is come off here. Maybe you come off here, and then you come this way. And kind of steps down like that. And probably come up this way. And have some little streets here. Okay, and I'm betting that, you know what, we could go ahead and connect this just to maximize connectivity here, and then we'll go ahead and zone. Well, let's go ahead and actually think about power here. So I think the obvious thing is to have it come from closest power, which would be right here. Just go right on up to here, and then you'd have your little suburban power line. And that'll be good enough, I think, to start. Maybe we can stick a few more. Just for good measure. And then we'll go ahead and stick some water here. You notice this is all following the topography more or less. It's very irregular, not a grid, and it's not just like throwing a grid on the flat land either. Because, you know, if I'm buying a place to live, I like to buy it in the mountains here, right? With a little bit of a view. I'd say that's a pretty cool view. Wouldn't you? Okay, so now that we got that, now we can zone. All right, so let's throw in a little bit of commercial just in the center here. Nothing crazy, just a little bit. Just basically you have some basic stores, and then the rest is going to be low density residential, and it's going to be everything. All right, now I think I'm going to take it off there. I don't want it to come down this way. Oh, wrong way. I wanted to right click, but I do want that, but not that, not that, not that. Okay, good. And yeah, we'll leave it at that for now. So we got that growing. That's gonna help curb the demand on both of these sides. Now when you get to here, you might have some more commercial going on here, right? You have the little corner store that pops up, and then you get a restaurant that will pop up after that, and then we're even going to put some higher density. Thank you. That's the word, density. You are my density. I mean destiny. Okay. Yeah, 10 points to whoever caught that reference. Um, just give him some water here. There we go. Okay. And so now we got, some outlying stuff that's not necessarily connected to the main city. All right, now how are we making our money now that we kind of got some more things going? Yeah, there we go. Now we're making money. Okay, gorgeous. I love it. It is divine. Okay, so what do they need over here? Oh, nothing. It got solved. Whatever it was. Um. Yeah. So going back over to here. Um. We want to. Yeah, I know what we want to do. I want to start making this area here. So let's start off with the roads. Also, you know what I want to do? I want to have my train connect. So one of the things that I went to download is actually what precipitated me going and downloading is I did get a bunch more uh, train stations, and I even got some really nifty over the road train tracks here, which I'm looking forward to using. Ooh. Pardon me. And so that's a university. That's a little royal station. We got the elevated train station here. So let's see. What does that look like? Does it go? So it's elevated, but it's not necessarily made to be over the road. It's kind of a big ass train station too. I guess a little bypass there and everything. Is that the only one I got? I thought I had gotten a couple more. What is this? That's it? I thought I got more. Well, I guess this is that's our new one. So the old one that I had, I think it must have been taken off of the workshop. It's not there anymore. The assets are not found. I don't know what happened to them. So they're gone. It's dead, Jim. So I'm gonna have to stick with this. So this is basically I have room for one, maybe two stations here, and I got to be a little bit. I got to think a little bit about where am I putting these, and I wonder if I'm gonna need to go ahead and do something like that. So let's go ahead and press pause, and we'll do that there, and that's literally going to take out some really big buildings here. Because you have at the base of this building, you'd have that integrate with a train station all day long. So I might try and let that stay. I don't know that I need to delete anything, even though it's kind of mushed together. It kind of doesn't look that bad. It kind of doesn't. Alright, so I'm just gonna leave it, and let's just let's see what we get here. So okay. I think I'm going to bulldoze that a little bit. And have it be more like that. So should I have a second station is really the question. And I'm thinking no. Train stations are really for intra I like how I'm not deleting that. I don't like how there's no um, supports for it though. So we'll have to work on that for the sake of realism. And so where's this going to go? Well, I think having a train station about here makes a lot of sense to me. Maybe about here. And then ultimately looping it back around to connect with the railroad over here. Something along those lines. For now, I'm going to leave it as such. But we need to do this. So I wonder if in my props over here, I think I need to use my find it tool and do support. What is this? Concrete support. Not gonna do it. A whole bunch of stuff. It has nothing to do with. Okay, what about pillar? Maybe try pillar. Okay. Whoa, those are some big pillars. So maybe we can Control A. Nope, Control A. Building must be placed along a roadside. What? That makes no sense. It has to be placed along a roadside. I'm confused. Why would you have it like that? Why wouldn't you just have it to where you could just place it wherever you wanted it? Some of these are rather big too. I don't need them to be that. That just makes no sense. So I got a bunch of options here. I guess I'm going to have to place them and then move them. I don't know. Let's go back to the beginning because I think that was like the best one. Right? And then I'll take the move it mod. I got to select it or... So can I not select it? What on earth is going on here? Why would I just randomly stick it next to a road like this? Hold Alt to select pylons or pillars. Alt. Hey, okay. That's new in 2.3.0. Okay. I didn't know that. Okay, so now I can click and move that all I want. So can I click? There we go. There we go. Okay. So now I can put it where I want. And I want to page down quite a bit. And let's move this over. Oh, too much. Okay, so I'm going to have to do it by hand here. I gotta hold down Alt. I don't hold it down. I've let go of Alt, by the way, by now. And yeah, that'll work. Okay. And so then we want to copy this. How often do we want it? Put it like right here. And we'll just follow these. I think that's how the game does it when it's putting its own pillars down. So bingo. Bingo. There you go. There you go. Kind of sticking it in an awkward spot instead of like over here. So I'm going to stick it there anyway. If anything, I can move that over. That looks fantastic, doesn't it? I like how you got random cars parked in the back here. And we're back to its regular pillars there. It's going through the police station, so we might have to do something about that. I don't mind it going over the parking garage, quite frankly. That is fine. We've got a community garden here, but it still needs a support here. There you go. Kind of integrates it with the existing. So that's just fine. It's going through the botanical garden there. I'm going to have to work on that. And done. Okay. So, see, these mods, you sometimes you got to think about what you're doing. They're not going to always work exactly the way you want them to. We're going to move that botanical garden a little bit to get that to work. Yeah, not ideal, but you know what? That's just life in the big city. Now, as far as this goes, I don't know. I think I'm just gonna really literally move that. No, I don't want to destroy it. There we go. I'm going to put it to a more universal intersection anyway. So maybe we stick it to right there, but that's not. It's got to go. It's got to go right there. Bingo. So that's how that's going to go, and then we can just zone that right there. There we go. Ooh. Okay. I'm sorry for the yawns I got today, guys. So there's that. What else do we need to do? Oh, I know what we need to do. We need to go back to our Move It mod. And we need to work on some of the placement of the things below. So I think that is good on this path here. I think it's good for that there. This path here, I think, needs to move a little bit. Oh, that's a really long section of path here. That's kind of random. What in the world is that? It's just a random parking. I've never seen that before. Move that over there. Alright. The trees are making it somewhat difficult to see what I'm doing here. Yeah, so that one move, and then maybe just a bit of a kink in the curve, and there you go. Alright. Back down there. Okay, that looks good. And at this point, this is back out in the open. That's fine. That's all good. That's all good. Moved the botanical garden already. That's good there. And then we're off to the races. Okay. So the only other thing I think we want to worry about is, and I just downloaded a thing. So I downloaded a thing, and I got to figure out where it is, how to engage it. It's an add-on to this one. Align slope. Align in place. There's got to be, it was one where you have a gradual. Let's try align slope. Maybe not. Actually, something's going on. Oh, it's saving. Hopefully it doesn't crash on me. Don't crash, don't crash, don't crash, don't crash. And we crashed. We literally crashed. Alright, guys. Well, I guess we're going to pause the game. That's the end of the episode is what I'm only trying to say. Thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.